Good morning and welcome to the Kennedy Recreation Center in Trenton, Michigan. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is Cougar Puck Radio. As your Cougars will take on Cranbrook Kingswood in the second of two games in the prestigious MIHL Showcase. This is a yearly journey down to the Detroit area for Catholic Central. Every year they try to take on a challenging out-of-conference schedule. Part of that's the D3 Challenge in Gaylord in early December, and now here in February. This is usually the time of year where they make the trip down here, a couple hours to the south and east, to, again, challenge themselves against some of the better teams from across the state. Yesterday, the Cougars fell in a tight one, 2-1, to Livonia Stevenson. Braylon Outwater had the only goal. Trent Goheen, a strong performance in net, but just not enough offense for Catholic Central in the opener of the weekend. Today, they take on Cranbrook Kingswood, and while the Cranes are not ranked in the top 10 in Division II, they are still one of the teams that has played a strong schedule coming into this, despite the sub-500 record at 8-10-1. And as if to prove my point that they're a quality foe, yesterday they beat one of the top teams from up north, Traverse City Central, 3-2 in the opener for them. So both teams play for the second and final time on the weekend. This is game number 22 for your Cougars. They stand at 12-7-2 for 14th-year head coach Mike Slobodnik. They are in the midst of a 1-5-2 stretch since beating state-ranked Bay Reps at home on the first weekend of January. So trying to dig their way out of this one as they get into the home stretch of the regular season. They've got Rockford and Forest Hill Central next weekend, undefeated, or used to be undefeated, Byron Center. They fell in a shootout yesterday, but they'll have, again, the Cougars will have Byron Center one more time before the end of the year as well, before what's looking like a matchup against Grand Rapids Christian in the first round of the regional. So 4 games to go to get all tuned up. The Cougars still are ranked in the top 10 in Division III at number 9 on the most recent Michigan High School Hockey Hub poll. So still well regarded across the state, but they have not been able to be consistent enough offensively in the last several weeks. That's been the tail of the tape. They've scored 2 goals or fewer in 7 of their past 9. And so it is about trying to find ways to get more chances and obviously get more pucks in the back of the net. Same deal for Cranbrook Kingswood, honestly. They've scored 2 or fewer in 5 straight, or they did have 2 or fewer in 5 straight prior to yesterday's win against Traverse City Central, and even then they just got 3. So we could be looking at a low-scoring game, but we have been surprised before in the sport of hockey. Again, we're here at the Kennedy Recreation Center in Trenton. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is Cougar Puck Radio. Back in just a moment for the drop of the puck in the MIHL Showcase. Catholic Central, the designated home team for this game, wearing the white jerseys with the blue trim. Two-tone look for the Cougars over the past 2 years. And Cranbrook Kingswood in the dark navy uniforms. The Cranes coached by John LaFontaine. Top scorer for Cranbrook Kingswood is number 12, junior Noah Timko, 9 goals and 17 total points. For the Cougars, Zach Westrick, number 27, continues to lead the squad in assists with 16 and points in 25. He and Braylon Outwater, a couple of senior classmates, are tied for the team lead in goals with 9. Sophomore Isaac Kapinga is one behind with 8. And Trent Goheen will make his 12th consecutive start for Catholic Central, going up against Garrett Dudlar of Cranbrook Kingswood, the junior. So Goheen, the senior, against the junior Dudlar. And the Cranes are after it in the attacking zone to start the game. DeSalvo having some room here, comes out and shoots a save made by Goheen. Rebound, another chance, and it's pushed wide of the goal and cleared. Caleb Goldstein with a couple of hacks at it on the doorstep, and an energetic start for the Cranes, playing much closer to home than the Cougars. Cranbrook Kingswood out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, just about 25 miles to the north. Outwater wipes out on a check in front of us with the junior D-man Wyatt Versfeld. Preston Berta bangs it high off the window, couldn't hook up with Zach Westrick, and here are the Cranes with it. DeSalvo gunning one across rink. Roman Chico steps up to it. Chico trying to pull the trigger. He was stripped from behind by the senior Alex Pollock, and the Cougars can break it out, or try to. Ten Harmsel stripped at the line. Braunscheidel, centering pass, picked off by Braden Bates of Catholic Central, and he sends it up ahead to Pollock. One touch over to Ryder Mulvey, the senior. Mulvey shoots, and a save made by Dudlar, and he hangs on. 4 goaltenders have seen at least 3 games of action for Cranbrook Kingswood. Dudlar has a 2-2 record with a .945 save percentage and a 1.51 goals against average, 1 shutout. Blake Tice has seen the most action for them. He had a 4-3 record coming into the tournament with a .908 save percentage. But also Jonah Wittenberg and Stephen Loisel have played extensively for the Cranes. Icing against CK. We'll stick with CK because Cranbrook Kingswood is a mouthful, especially when broadcasting a hockey game. Acronyms are your friend in this case. We're starting just after 9:20 a.m., our earliest broadcast of the year by far on Cougar Puck Radio. Thank you for joining us. Ten Harmsel the shot, intentionally wide, big bounce off the end wall, and Dudlar is going to gather and hold it in his trapper. 15:32 to go in the first period. Again, big thanks to Tim Goheen for helping set up and running the camera. Catholic Central making its final trip out of the region until hopefully a long playoff run. We'll see about that. But as for right now, their last games outside of the Grand Rapids area until, again, we'll see if they can get out of the regional playoffs for the first time in a couple of years. Braden Bates can't hold it at the blue line. He'll backpedal out to center for Catholic Central. Bates, number 88, revs it up. Shoots around. Dudlar couldn't stop it completely. And so it's banged to the near side. Braunscheidel, and the Cranes clear. Kwiatkowski from center ice. Henry Kwiatkowski right on goal with that shot. Dudlar courageously out atop his crease to make the play away from Moss. That was Cooper Moss on the forechecking pressure. Henry Kwiatkowski retrieving for Catholic Central. And for the Cougars, he hammers it off the far side boards beyond the reach of Moss. 2.5 minutes into the first period, no score. Patrick Netton, sophomore D, one of the few underclassmen on this CK club. Cranes nearly turn it over, but Netton distributes out to center ice. Now he has a look, rifles the pass across off a stick. Kento Saijo couldn't quite get there. Saijo on the near side half wall, coughed it up to Zach Westrick, who streaks through center ice. Zach Westrick with some speed, trying to split the D, couldn't quite do it, and collision at the net. Joey Conti, the sophomore D, goes down and crashes into the goaltender, Dudlar, and that knocks the net off its pegs with 13:56 to go in the first. Catholic Central ranked 9th in Division III. They sit at 12-7-2. Just 1 win in their last 8 games. A chance for Westrick, and the shot fluttered over the crossbar. Might have been deflected as he cut inside off the faceoff win for Catholic Central. Cougars played a tight one yesterday against Livonia Stevenson, second time seeing them in the last couple of years. They also came into South Side. This is icing against CK. That'll drag the faceoff back down to our right. Ryder Mulvey is going to take this faceoff. He's probably the hottest Cougar offensively. He's got points in 6 of his last 8, totaling 8 points, 4 goals and 4 assists. Right on net with that one was Alex Pollock, patted out by Dudlar. The rebound available, but punched over to the near side boards, and it drifts out to center. Liam Ten Harmsel on the take back for the Cougars. Quick feed off to his D partner Bates, has some trouble. The puck was stuck in his skates for a moment, and he cleared it around to the near wing side. Will Noddle back to the point. Knuckling shot by Noah Puyat. High and wide of the net. Goheen thought about gloving it, but then thought better of it. a lot of times just best to let those go and not give him a chance. And there is Goheen outside of his crease to hang on and get the whistle with 12:55 remaining in the first. Goheen on the year has a record of 9-7-2, a .934 save percentage that ranks in the top 10 statewide, a 1.80 goals against, and 4 shutouts, most recently against West Ottawa a couple of weeks ago on the road. Goheen, the senior, came into the year with the most starts in a career among active Michigan high school goaltenders. And he's only added to that total. He's only increased that lead this year, making his 10th consecutive start with his backup Max Moore still fighting an ankle injury. Back out to the point and a slap shot by Antone. That was blocked out high. And here come the Cougars on the counterattack. Isaac Kappinga wiped out on a check by Netton. And the puck ends up behind the goal. Antone coughed it up to Ryder Mulvey. Gives over to Pollock. Now Kappinga following on. He's got Mulvey in front. Try to make the pass. That was deflected. Versfeld up the far side wall. Again, picked off by Mulvey. So Antone and the Cranes will try this near side. And Mulvey again swoops in. The co-captain for the Cougars forced the turnover. Coming against Carlander, and he put it over the crossbar. What a chance. Karsten Carlander with a great look. The best opportunity of the game so far for the Cougars. Well, he and Zach Westrick, they both have had good looks. That one, though, Carlander had a head of steam, too. Makes him even more dangerous in that spot, but just couldn't find the target. Shot in, and that's a strange bounce off the partition and up into the screen over the high glass down to our left. Called icing against CK. Just 5 minutes and 5 seconds into the game. Looks like our Wi-Fi signal is pretty good here, so we shouldn't have any issues keeping on the air throughout the duration of the game. I'll keep an eye on that. Always a challenge, or at least an interesting situation, trying to figure things out on the road, away from our familiar environs of Southside Ice Arena. Short pass, Callison. Goldstein couldn't quite get there for Cranbrook Kingswood. Now Stephen Brown, well, hulking forward, trying to make a play. In behind the goal, it's Saijo with Brown. Jackson Dozema pinned him to the wall, and Alex Sager with a clearing pass ends up right on net all the way down 200 feet. Clearing play by Dudlar. That ticked off the stick of Versfeld, his defenseman, but right to Stephen Brown at center. Brown lowers the shoulder. Centering pass under the stick of Goldstein. Stepping up Versfeld to tap it in deep. Sager swings it around the kick plate. Over there is Carlander to pick it up. He lost control. DeSalvo crashing in, but it's offside against the Cranes. Stopping play. Just under 11 to go in the first. It's a 3-rink facility here. The Kennedy Recreation Center, named after the former president, JFK. We're just a little bit south and a little bit west of Detroit proper. Downriver region, as they say. Bates snapping the pass up ahead, redirected by Luke Goheen in behind the Cranes net. Puyat with possession. He's cleaned out by Outwater. Another great check from number 13 in white. He seems to rack up at least a couple every game. 10 Harmsel chipping it off the boards. He and Outwater go to work. Still the battle continues with 10.5 to go in the first, and it's flushed out to center ice. Bates backpedaling into his own real estate. Angle pass ahead, trying to squeeze it over to Goheen. Instead, it's fended off and taken back the other way by the captain of the Cranes, Thomas Kiemel. He drives it in below the goal line and heads off for a line change. Bates, the offensive-minded defenseman, makes a long lead pass. That's tipped and blocked by Netton. And he clears it across to his deep partner, Antone. And the Cranes at least get it out of their zone. Bates with 10 to go in the first. Over to 10 Harmsel, but the first-year varsity man coughed it up. Nick Timko, leading scorer for the Cranes, puts it on goal from the left face-off circle. Goheen covers and holds after the save. Grabbed it right off the interlocking C's on his chest, did Goheen. Just 5 games in the month of February for the Cougars. These 2 here at the MIHL Showcase. And then next week we've got Rockford at home on Friday night, 7:30 start. Forest Hill Central on the road at Patterson. That's a 3 o'clock start next Saturday. And then 2 Fridays from now, the finale against Byron Center on the Bulldogs rink this time at Southside. It's all coming up. We'll have all 3 games on Cougar Puck Radio. Then once the playoffs start, we'll be on the National Federation of High Schools network. We'll give you the links to that once time comes. Braunscheidel couldn't take the pass across on his backhand side. He'll push it in behind the goal. Versfeld stepping up, kept it alive at the point. Versfeld again, shooting off the end boards. Bates hacks it. Kappinga trying to push it out of the zone. He's down on his backside as Kappinga. Lost control of the puck to Braunscheidel. And he missed the goal with that one. 10 Harmsel on it for the Cougars. Couldn't flip it. Now he'll try again, and he's going to lug it out through to center ice. Over the red and over the blue. 10 Harmsel. Shot off line. Cut by the goaltender Dudlar. He tries the quick up to Braunscheidel. It worked. And now Callison getting to it. Number 19 in dark blue. Tried to stop. His right skate blew out from under him. And so now it's Cooper Moss for the Cougars heading back north. Moss getting around the edge, and he's yanked down by Roman Chico. There's going to be a penalty against the Cranes. Catholic Central will have a power play, the first of the game for either side, holding the call with 8:23 to go in the first period. And Roman Chico, one of the co-captains, heads off. Defenseman with 11 points on the year, including 7 goals. He'll have a seat, though, for what he hopes is the full 2 minutes. Catholic Central was on a good run with its power play. They had scored 7 goals on it over a 4-game stretch, but now they've gone back-to-back games without a PPG, including yesterday's action. Outwater had the only goal for the Cougars yesterday. That was his 9th to tie Westrick for the team lead. The Cougars hold it in here after the opening faceoff of the power play. Berta shoots and redirected into the screen by Dudlar. And that'll halt play. 11 seconds into the advantage. 8:11 to go in the first. Schmidt for the Cranes. Can't get it out. There in patrolling the blue line is Preston Berta. On the handoff to Outwater. Pivoting out by the blue line to Westrick. Back to Outwater. Fumbled the puck. He's got to go back out to the neutral ice area to corral it. So 10 Harmsel will help out. Not a lot of pressure from CK in the Cougars zone. Now Karolak will step up and force the dump in. Swung around by Dudlar toward the middle. This is Will Karolak. Shooting into the left corner. Goheen heads it off at the pass. Dished up to Outwater. 1 minute to go on the power play. No shots on goal yet for the Cougars during this sequence. And Luke Goheen was tripped, taken down. That's a penalty against the Cranes. It'll be a 2-man advantage for 59 seconds on the tripping minor. This time Wyatt Versfeld is the guilty party with 7:21 to go in the first. Well, here's a flashing opportunity for the Cougars. Bright lights. Full go for the attack. 5-on-3. They got to win the puck first, though. Bates pins it to the wall right out here by the point. Hands off to Ryder Mulvey. Mulvey looks back out to Braden Bates. Walks the line, over to Kwiatkowski. Now Mulvey, top of the circles. Took the shot, and that was blocked to the corner by Goldstein. Behind the goal, 40 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Zach Westrick, the Cougars' leading point man, gives it out to Bates. Bates to Mulvey, takes a look, back to Bates, lines it up and shoots one, deflected wide. Off the retrieval, Bates does keep it alive on the attempted clear by the Cranes. Mulvey, right circle, now to the center. Kwiatkowski's shot, save made by Dudlar, rebound available, and Kwiatkowski hops on it out by the blue again. His shot deflected, save, rebound, and Kapinga has to crowd behind the goal, try to swing it in front. Cleared out, but not out. Kwiatkowski is shot. Dudlar reaching for it, and he has it at his feet on all fours. 6 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. 6:28 left in the period. Chico ready to come out of the box for Cranbrook Kingswood. Back to action. Berta takes a look. It's a 5-on-4 now. Goheen, Berta, shot it. Stop made by Dudlar. I don't think he saw it, but he was in good position. So now it's a one-man power play. Outwater, dishing out in front. Goheen couldn't pull the trigger. Just drifted off his stick. Good pass from Outwater. Now he plays it back against the grain. Westrick using that speed to get off the wall. It drifts to Berta. Want to go back down low, and picked off and cleared by Roman Chico. And that relieves the pressure for the Cranes. They were defending in their own zone for about a solid minute. 27 seconds remaining on the second penalty. The Cougars trying to avoid coming up empty on these back-to-back advantages, including that lengthy 5-on-3. Westrick, the one touch to Goheen. He shoots it. Again, Chico got in the way of that. And cleared down ice by David Schmidt, the junior D-man. 6 seconds to go on the power play. Looks like it's going to run out without a goal. We're back to 5-on-5, 5:20 left in the first period. Luke Goheen has some time and space at center. Gets around the picket fence, makes his way into the offensive zone down the left wing. Goheen left it behind looking for Jackson Dozema on the exchange, but that was intercepted by Timko. Noddle, cross rink. The Cranes haven't really had a good look since the opening shift of the game when they had 2 or 3 chances from right in front of the net. Now we're down to 5 minutes to go before the break. Potter steps up. Interrupted that pass to Kiemel at center. Now it's tipped ahead. Here comes Goheen, and he just got enough on it to direct it away from Timko, who was hard charging. Noddle to the middle. Noddle again, hard off the wall. This will go all the way down, wide of the net, and icing's waved off. The linesperson ruled that Kwiatkowski could have played it. That's always a gray area on those types of plays, but in that case, Kwiatkowski did not get the benefit of the doubt. Netton turning this way and that under the pressure of Cooper Moss. Made the play off to Noah Puyat. Clears it all the way across to Timko and over the line. Timko a shot patted out by Goheen right atop his crease confidently. Timko collides with the senior defenseman Alex Sager. Now Mulvey intercepts for Catholic Central with 4 to go in the period and just barely got it out over the blue line. Puyat couldn't keep it in with his skate. Mulvey tried to chip it by. Schmidt at center. No sail. Catholic Central has to regroup. Kwiatkowski with his head up. Takes a look, shoots it in, goes around the boards, and Dudlar couldn't stop it behind the net. Pollock to Mulvey. Mulvey shooting. Pad save by Dudlar. Back out in front. Here's Kapinga. Stopped by Dudlar. Maybe his best save as he kicked it out, and the net is off its pegs, or at least one of them, with 3:38 to go in the period. That stops the clock. The first 2 golden chances the Cougars had, they missed the net high. This time they made Dudlar come up with a save, and he did. Mulvey at the dot, captain against captain. He won the draw. Sager once and twice, or pardon me, that's Rubline put it on net. And Dudlar made the save, didn't know where the rebound was. Mulvey was knocked down in front, trying to collect this puck and shoot. He scores! Ryder Mulvey gets up to his feet and jams it under Dudlar, and the Cougars have a 1-0 lead. Stay hot, Ryder Mulvey. 8th goal of the year for him. 3:26 to go. Catholic Central doesn't score on the power plays, but they do get an even strength goal. And for the first time this weekend, they're in front. Probably an unassisted goal for Mulvey. The puck just found him in the slot as initially he was knocked down. He just kept on going, stood up, got a quick shot away. A lot of times in that spot of the ice, that's all you can do. But a lot of times that's good enough to get the goal. So Mulvey's 8th, one shy of the team lead behind both Outwater and Westrick. He's now tied with Isaac Kappinga. So 4 players with 8 or more goals for the Cougars. Shot on goal from the point by the Cranes. That's patted out by Goheen and cleared. That'll be an icing. Roman Chico fired that on target from the right point for Cranbrook Kingswood, which won yesterday 3-2 against Traverse City Central. No stats were available on the Crane side for that one. At least not quite yet. Sometimes there's a bit of a lag on these weekend tournaments when you're away from home. I do get it. 10 Harmsel trying to clear it out. It's tipped into the bench, and Cougars assistant coach Joel Kwiatkowski makes the catch. Well, can the Cougars get to 3 goals? That seems to be the magic number this year. And it often is in the sport of hockey. A lot of difference between 3 and 2 for whatever reason. Cleared out on his own by Garrett Dudlar, the goaltender for Cranbrook Kingswood. 10 Harmsel trying to set sail, lost command of the puck. Chico whips it across, intercepted by Zach Westrick. He puts it right back into the attacking end. 2.5 to go in the first period. High deflection all the way down in on Goheen. He'll saucer it away. What a beauty of a pass that was with a goal stick. Off to Outwater. Many times a game I just shake my head at how he's able to put those pucks on the money for defensemen or forwards trying to break it out. It's quite a luxury. You get used to it as a player, and maybe you shouldn't. Joe iced it for Cranbrook Kingswood, but he was tripped in the process, and the Cougars go shorthanded for the first time. Zach Westrick called for the tripping minor with 2:16 left in the period. Mulvey's got Catholic Central on the board. If you're joining us late from Kennedy Recreation Center. I was late in putting up the goal on the scoreboard. Sorry about that. Cleared out by Kappinga, and Catholic Central can set up the neutral zone forecheck here. Down a man, killing a penalty. Trying to protect this lead. Timko. Dangerous attacker for Cranbrook Kingswood. Circles the goal. Fed it out to the line to Chico. Now into the middle, DeSalvo. Giamatti DeSalvo ridden down to the ice by Kappinga, but DeSalvo swatted it while sliding on his back to the corner. Berta cleared it by Chico, and down it goes. Half minute into the power play, 1:36 left in the period. Chico gets around the edge against Luke Goheen. And on the chip and chase, he has it, tried to center. He was open there for a second to make a play, but he stubbed the feed. Chico, good stick handling by the line to keep it in the zone. But here comes Outwater to poke it free, and Braylon Outwater has a shorthanded breakaway. Here he is, and he fired it off the glass. Well, he buried one recently, did Outwater, on a similar situation. I believe it was against West Ottawa, but not here. He wins the puck, centers it, and picked off by Timko. And here come the Cranes with 1 minute to go in the period. Timko cutting in, shooting, good shot, but Goheen a better save, and then he puts his blocker up to prevent Timko from getting into his kitchen. 54 seconds left before the break. 38 seconds to go on the CK power play. Trent Goheen has allowed 2 goals or fewer 12 times in 18 starts, including yesterday's 2-1 loss to Livonia Stevenson. He should be right up there with any of the top goaltenders when it comes to postseason accolades. He's turning in a heck of a senior season is Goheen. Puyat to the sidewall, and Bates stepped up to pick it off and clear all the way down. 40 seconds to go in the period, just 20 seconds remaining on the power play. Zach Westrick in the box for tripping. Schmidt up the far wall, he guides that. Braunscheidel turns. The Cranes have a zone entry, but not for long. It bounces out the center on the attempted return pass from Schmidt to Puyat. Final 5 seconds of the power play. Ryder Mulvey charges ahead. He's on the attack again. Mulvey looking for a second. His backhand floats over the crossbar on the deflection. Now he chips toward the middle. Bates looked to step up. The Cougars are back to 5-on-5. 6 seconds to go in the period. Puyat settles in behind his net for the Cranes, and he'll just skate out the remaining time. There's the buzzer, ending the first period. Ryder Mulvey's goal with 3:26 to go in the period, the only one on the board so far in this matchup between the Cougars and the Cranes from Kennedy Recreation Center in Trenton, Michigan. We'll take a break on Cougar Puck Radio, bring it back for the second energetic start early on this Saturday morning. Hope you're fully caffeinated and ready to go. I know I am, and if I wasn't, I am by now. We'll talk to you in just a little bit on CPR. 1-0 Grand Rapids Catholic Central after one period. Game 2 of the MIHL event, the annual event here at the Kennedy Recreation Center in Trenton, in the southern outskirts of Detroit, the downriver region. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is Cougar Puck Radio. Ryder Mulvey scored the first goal of this game and the only goal of this game to this point. We'll start the second period at 5-on-5. Full and even strength for both sides. It seems like the Wi-Fi is starting to waver as we get more people into the building this morning. I might have to shift over, see if I can find an Ethernet connection for the third. As for the second, this is what we're stuck with. So here we go. The players banging their sticks off the boards. At least the Cougars were showing some energy. According to a certain rodent in western Pennsylvania, we're due an early spring, so we'll see about that. It was sunny yesterday in GR. Not unpleasant in the Detroit area this morning. Timko on the far side, trying to find some room. Ends up behind the net. Now it'll be DeSalvo cycling with Timko to DeSalvo, stripped by 10-1. Goaltender Garrett Dudlar swats it off the far side boards. Out it goes. Timko on the charge, but he won't be able to get there in time. Kappinga secures it for Catholic Central. On the headman pass to Pollock. He fished it out of his skates and dumped in for a line change. 15:39 to go in the first period. At center ice, Goldstein swats it further. On the near wall, Luke Goheen trying to nudge it ahead. It'll be Outwater. Feeding it toward the front, picked off. Taken by Michael Horton. Horton couldn't get it by Westrick. Now over to the far wing side. Trying to make a play, Braunscheidel. Turned it over. Now he tried to slip a pass in front. That was intercepted by Noddle. But the Cranes can't clear. Bates out by the line. 2 minutes into the second period. Catholic Central settles in the attacking zone. Westrick swirls behind the net on the handoff, and then Harms will try to pull it out in front. Unable to do so, but it drifts right to Westrick for a shot that's blocked by Chico, and that one hurt him. It got him right in the midsection. Again, the Cranes can't clear it out. Ten Harmsel try to make a play just in front of the Cougars bench. Uh-oh, that's too many men on the ice. One of those tough spots. You don't want to play the puck, but you do want to play the puck to prevent a turnover. In that case, 6 players were in play, according to the referee, and that's our first penalty of the second period. Catholic Central about to go short for the second time in this game. A bench minor for too many men on the ice. That'll be served by Jackson Dozema. Off the draw. Netton for Cranbrook Kingswood. Fed it to Pouillot. He shot it, blocked in front. Big moment in this game. The Cougars to Pouillot. He shot it, blocked in front. Big moment in this game. The Cougars just one win in their last 8, trying to hold on to a lead, protect the lead, hopefully expand the lead, but for right now, focused on defending. Netton ripped it off the glass. Taken by Saijo on the near side. Played it in behind to Brown. He was dispossessed by Kwiatkowski. Couldn't clear it by Neto out by the point. Or Netton, pardon me. Following on is Chico. Reston Chico. Hank Callison to the corner. Brown in front, score. Hank Callison, his second goal of the year, his first on the power play. And Cranbrook Kingswood has the equalizer with 13:51 to go in the second. Give an assist to Brown. Callison, who helped keep the puck in at the point, ends up being the one on the finishing end as well. Funny how that works, defense to offense. So often in this sport, even if you are doing the defending, quote unquote, 150 feet from your goal. Well, frame it like this. You got to get the puck back before you can go to work with it. And when you put in that hard work at one end, it tends to follow you to the other side of things. So Goheen clears it around. The Cougars give up the power play goal on the too many men call. Again, kind of a gray area there in front of their bench, but I'm not the one paid to make the calls there. Timko steps up into the attacking end for Cranbrook Kingswood. The Cranes trying to get 2 wins on this weekend. Jammed wide of the goal. Chico hit the ice too far behind it. He's shaking his head as Goheen will be able to easily corral that and get the stoppage in play. The Cranes 1 for 2 on the power play today. This morning. Always sounds strange during one of these game broadcasts, but it is the truth. A couple of day games on this weekend for Catholic Central. Yesterday they played just after 1 o'clock. I believe it was a 1:30 start. Antone swings it around. Goldstein now. Some trouble behind the net. Westrick harassing him. Goldstein stick handles, feeds beyond Horton's reach. Onto the stick of Preston Berta, who slides it right on goal from center ice. Antone looking up. Deflects into the zone off the stick of Horton, excuse me. Outwater collects it, takes a check from Timko and passed it into the near side corner. That's where Westrick went after it, but couldn't make anything happen. Henry Kwiatkowski with 12.5 to go in the second period. Plays catch with his D partner Berta. Kwiatkowski, the junior, up ahead. Luke Goheen, did he get a piece of it? Apparently he did, so no icing. Whistled here against the Cougars. Puyat, left-handed shooting D-man from behind his net to Noddle. Cross rink, and with a head of steam is Noah Timko. Timko getting around the edge, and he's stopped by Goheen. He closed down any space there, making sure that puck didn't squeeze between his blocker arm and his side. Nick Timko. I think I called him Noah earlier in the game. It is Nick Timko. No player in this game on either side has 10 goals, but Timko's close with 9. Outwater and Westrick have 9 apiece for the Cougars. Blasted wide of the goal by Schmidt, and off the end wall, it deflects over to Ryder Mulvey. Some hard strides out the center, trying to get his motor going, and he did. From behind the net, Dudlar also likes to handle the puck. We have 2 goaltenders who are very aggressive in using the stick. I just think it's becoming more of a trend in hockey. Offside at the Cranes line. The Cougars tried to gain entry. But getting back to my point, it does seem like we are seeing a lot more of that. And of course, when you see goaltenders at the highest level, at the NHL level, become more proficient, I think as a youngster it makes you want to be like that too, to stand out in that way. It's a value add if you can do it right. Of course, a lot of fans focus on mistakes from goaltenders, puck handling, stick handling, if you will. But like I said, if you can make it a value add, it's a big deal. Can reduce the wear and tear on the defenseman, especially having to skate back constantly for loose pucks. And here's an example right now as Dudlar heads over into the corner. Of course, in the NHL, this play would be illegal because he'd be out of the trapezoid in the corner. Not in high school, though. You can roam wherever you want on this side of center ice. The dish ahead, Brown redirects it forward. Couldn't take the pass cleanly, but still got it deep. Goheen spun it up the near wing. Pollock, pass to the far side. Brody Potter with the shoot in. 11 to go in the second period. 1-1. Cougars and Cranes at the MIHL Showcase. Liam Ten Harmsel settles the puck behind his goal. Thinking about making a move. The Cranes have 3 attackers in the offensive zone, and one pass beats 2 of them. On to Moss. Cooper Moss around the edge. He was tripped as he tried to get by Versfeld. That's a penalty against the Cranes. Catholic Central about to go back to the power play as soon as Cranbrook Kingswood touches up, and they do here with 10:31 left in the second. Maybe the Cougars can punch back on the power play. Pretty easy call. Moss had his man beat, and Versfeld took him down. He's in the box for the second time in this game. The CK Cranes, coached by John LaFontaine. Catholic Central headed up by Mike Slobodnik. 2 for tripping against Versfeld. This is the 3rd Catholic Central power play. Westrick wipes out, winning the puck back. Goheen clicks a pass to Ten Harmsel, right back to Goheen. Down low, deflected, and a save by Dudlar. Ten Harmsel handles and shoots, scores! Liam Ten Harmsel with a rip shot off the post and in. From between the circles, 2-1. I think it was Westrick who set him up. Goheen was involved in the play too. Ten Harmsel, his 4th goal of the year from the blue line in his first year as a varsity player, and he wants to drive the Zamboni. Cougars back on top. Perfect shot. And I think for the first time this year, we have captured a Ten Harmsel goal on Cougar Puck Radio. For some reason, we've missed a lot of his. All of his, I think, until that one. Catholic Central now 1 for 3 on the power play. That's a big goal to get some traction in this game again. That 4th goal leads all Cougars defensemen. Intercepted behind the net by Zach Westrick. Couldn't make a play. Neton wiped out by Outwater. No penalty as he passed it in front. I think he thought there was going to be a penalty, and he kind of led up to Outwater. Neton having a hard time getting up to his feet behind the goal. Wild shot goes over the net on the other end by Keimel. Picked up in the corner by Karolak, turned it over. Westrick right there. It's a 3-man rush for Catholic Central. 9:20 left in the second period. On the dish to the late man, Bates. He put it off the pad of Dudlar, and it caroms over to the near corner. Now to the far side. Goheen lost his stick. Berta initially backpedaled, then he stepped up to make the play with the poke check. And into the corner goes Puyat, the defenseman in deep, with 9 minutes left in the second period. Play settles down as Catholic Central is able to bog down the cycle on the far side. Out of there comes Nick Timko. Stick handling, using that long reach. Made a pass toward the middle, but Noddle had his stick lifted, I believe, by Isaac Kappinga there. Noddle trying to drive it toward net from the sideboards. That was blocked down. Chance for Karolak, and his shot was blocked to the end wall. Halfway through the second, it's Pollock giving it away at center to Puyat. Pollock helped win it back. Berta blasts it forward. Dudlar on the handoff move. Over to Schmidt. Up the near wall, Pollock. Mulvey pries it loose toward the slot. And Braunscheitel now starts the counterattack for the Cranes. Noddle trying to pass it to the man charging down the middle. That was Michael Horton, but that's off a Cougar's body. Michael Horton, 6 goals, 9 points on the year. Twisted off the puck. Bennett Rubline couldn't clear. He inadvertently hit Potter with it out high. Turning chance from, again, Horton working hard out of that corner, but another turnover. Berta now makes the most of that to tap it up to Potter for a bouncing shot that Dudlar made the pad save on, but again, given away. Rubline in deep behind the net. Moss. Play continues on. Kwiatkowski right at the middle of the ice with that escape. Assertively. Moss shooting wide. Neton scoops and clears off the stick of Callison. Callison, the goal scorer for Cranbrook Kingswood. Ten Harmsel and Mulvey, the goal scorers for Catholic Central in a 2-1 game. This is Neton. Poked away by Kwiatkowski. 6:37 to go in the second. Saijo. Hard pass across to Chico. He slows the pace. Off to Neton, redirected ahead by Goldstein. Goheen behind his net. And out and around it goes. Pushed to center ice by Luke Goheen. So it's brother to brother there. Trent to Luke. And Luke gets a piece of this. Out to center it goes again. Kwiatkowski hard up the far wall. Hit a body at the Cougars bench. And Moss took advantage of that for an unmolested wrist shot. But from distance, Dudlar was able to track it and make the save. To the point, a slapper goes well wide from Antone in the Cougars' end. Outwater tossed it ahead into the snow in front of the Cougars' bench. That slows it down. Actually helped Catholic Central catch up to that one. Outwater working hard to try to yank it loose from Schmidt. Instead, it's Antone around the wall and out for the Cranes. Keimel driving in toward net. Actually, that was DeSalvo, pardon me, and he was pulled down, according to the referee. Another penalty against Catholic Central. That'll be the third power play for Cranbrook Kingswood. 5:28 to go in the period. 10 Harmsel. Off for 2. I'm assuming that's tripping as well. If so, that's our 4th tripping penalty out of 6 total calls in this game. Of course, it doesn't really matter what it is, just that it was called of the 2-minute variety. So Mulvey gets the assignment on the penalty kill to start here, along with Kappinga, Berta, and Bates. Referee still having a chat with one of the Cranes coaches, one of the referees, I should say. Full complement of officials on the ice today, 2 refs, 2 linesmen. Chico played it down the wall. It'll be Saijo trying to make a pass. Instead, out to the point, a shot redirected. It's loose in front. Berta tied up his man, Brown, and it's cleared. Berta against Brown, 20 against 20. That's about, I don't know, close to 13 combined feet of hockey player in front of the net. Pretty amusing to watch, honestly. Well, easy for me to say I'm not in there trying to battle those 2 behemoths. Half-minute gone on the power play. It's the 3rd of the morning for Cranbrook Kingswood. They've scored on 1 of those. Earlier in this period, Hank Callison from in front connected. Chico in front of the goal. And there was Callison again, bidding for his 2nd, but he deflected it just wide of the net. Horton down the boards, turned it over to Mulvey, slaps it away with great disdain. 4.5 to go in the period, 1 minute to go on the power play. Saijo emerging from behind his net. Net on cross rink to Chico. Has some room, shoots, good glove save by Goheen, and he keeps it with 4:17 remaining in the period. It's one of Goheen's strengths. He's able to get out on top of his crease quickly. I think he surprises shooters sometimes by how close he is to them, not giving them a lot to shoot at. Cutting down the angle effectively and smoothly. It's not an obvious thing either. All of a sudden, he's just right there. Schmidt tried to center, and that's too hard all the way out to the point, and Puyat couldn't corral. He's back behind his net. Cougars lead 2-1. 30 seconds to go on this power play for Cranbrook Kingswood. Horton dropped it back, picked off by Luke Goheen, and he snaps it off the glove of David Schmidt and back into Crane's real estate. Puyat with under 4 to play in the period. Schmidt ahead with that. Off of Kwiatkowski, bouncing around, some havoc in the Cougar zone. Goheen swoops in. Oh, he had Outwater, does get it to him on the aerial pass, but all he could do was glove it down and shoot a low percentage wrister from the side wall that's sticked up into the screen, so that'll give the Cougars an offensive zone draw right at the end of this penalty kill. They're going to survive this one. They're going to be 2 for 3 on the PK. As 10 Harmsel is standing up in the penalty box, ready to go, ready to escape. It's the honor system right now in the boxes because there's no attendant there. They got to let themselves out. There is someone in the scoring area, to be clear, directing, and actually it's the backup goaltender, Max Moore, who's operating the door. Same deal in the Cranes box where Blake Tice, today's backup, is running things. The Cougars tie it up long enough. It's 5-on-5 once again. So they survive that chance for the Cranes. And now it's Bates with 3.25 minutes to go in the period. Let's see if the Cougars can get the offense re-engaged. Now looking for some insurance, ahead by 1 goal, 2-1. They've scored in the first, they've scored in the second, but they wouldn't mind another here in the second. Like I said, that 3-goal barrier has been elusive at times, especially recently. Good back checking from Kappinga, but a long slap shot saved by Goheen. It's still loose. Kiesel couldn't get it. Now behind the net. Will Karolak, the sophomore, turning, pinned by Bates, but he hands it off to Chico. Again, the defender, aggressive in the offensive zone. 2-on-2 scrum. Here are the Cougars and Bates emerging with the puck. Got to the red line, avoided a check, and shot in. And well, apparently they did not get, no, it was off the rink. Deflected out of play. It's going to bring the faceoff back into the Cougars' end. I guess they're saying he didn't get to the red line. Was that an icing call? I'm not sure. It was right in front of me. I was certain he got to the red line before he shot that in. But I guess not, according to the men who are in charge. Cranes win the faceoff. Here's a shot that goes wide by Antone. Goheen swung his stick toward it, but didn't need to make a save. Antone plays it across, open wing. There's Berta stepping up. Preston Berta on net with that firm wrist shot, but right into the belly pad of Garrett Dudlar, and no further play with 2:15 remaining in the second period. In this morning matchup on Cougar Puck Radio. Thank you for joining me. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is game number 22 of 25 in the regular season. Berta after the faceoff, controlled by Catholic Central. Potter, who did the work there, hit by Neton. Dozema hacking and whacking, so is Potter, but the Cranes have possession. Collison slid it across. Kwiatkowski's going to get there first and clear, just out over the blue line. Sijo stepped up but couldn't get there in time. Antone, lead feed, redirected ahead by Brown. Goheen at the side of his net, made the backhand play. Cooper Moss turns up ice. He's got Potter and Dozema ahead of him, but Moss, thinking about a shoot-in, fanned on it. Brown takes it away. Kwiatkowski saves the day with a poke check. Moss fell down in front of the Cranes bench, and it ends up out of play. That was a chaotic sequence in the neutral zone. 1:29 left before the break. A pair of power play goals in this period, one for Cranbrook Kingswood, one for Catholic Central. That has kept the Cougars ahead, and they're trying to take this lead to the intermission. The third period has been a challenge for Catholic Central lately, whether they've been ahead or tied. But for right now, they got to take care of the rest of the second before they can worry about that. Kappinga could not clear. Schmidt, and the pass in front from Horton goes right on net before Timko and company could arrive on the scene. 1:11 left. Goheen gets the whistle. We're at even strength play late in the second period. Yesterday's game finished 2-1, but the other way as the Cougars fell to Livonia Stevenson. Just seeing Stevenson warming up, getting ready for their game. They're next on this rink, which is the home rink for 4 teams down here. Outwater taking the puck, made a backhand pass. 10 Armsel creeps in. Give it back to Outwater. Look out. Timko tried to jump him, but a shot from Outwater nearly surprised the goaltender. Dudlar was off his glove hand and just barely bounced wide of the net. That's hockey for you. 1 second, it looks like it's going to go the other way. The other, it's whipped on goal. 36 seconds to go in the period. 5-man scrum at the wall, and a penalty coming up. I think it might be against Catholic Central as Timko went tumbling down, or maybe not. He's arguing. No, it will be against Ryder Mulvey. With 31 seconds remaining in the second period. So this one will carry over if the Cranes don't. Well, pardon me, no. Timko's going off as well. Okay, so it might be an even up situation. Nick Timko to the box for the Cranes and Mulvey for the Cougars. Could have corresponding roughing minors. It's going to stay at 5-on-5 as it turns out. No power play either way from that sequence. Play continues after the faceoff at center ice. Goheen and Westrick join the party. Another big scrum back there behind the goal. 1 second to go in the period, and a penalty was coming up. And it's going to be called at the buzzer. His arm in the air. So the Cougars might be starting the third period with a power play. I guess we'll find out on the back end. As it stands right now, Liam Ten Harmsel's goal has the Cougars ahead 2-1 here at the Kennedy Recreation Center against Cranbrook Kingswood. Stay with us on Cougar Puck Radio.